When you hear the words corporate training, what comes to mind? Probably a stuffy conference room and a presenter clicking through slides, right? Well, what if we could flip that whole idea on its head? Today, we're going to break down how to transform training from a one-off event into a powerful, strategic cycle that actually drives real change.
And this idea right here, it's the key to everything we're going to talk about. See, the goal isn't just to teach something new, it's to create a real, tangible change in how people work. When a company invests in training, it's not just paying for a class, it's buying an outcome. That could be fewer mistakes, faster sales, or happier customers. It's about results.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll totally reframe how we think about training. Then, we'll get into that big build versus buy decision and look at the best tools for the job. After that, we're diving into how to measure what actually matters. And finally, we'll pull it all together into a cycle of constant improvement.
Okay, let's start with that first, absolutely fundamental step, shifting our perspective. And look, this isn't just about playing with words. Changing your view of training from a cost to an investment changes absolutely everything about how you design, deliver, and even think about it.
On the left, you've got the old school way of thinking, training as an expense. It's just a line item in the budget, an event that happens, and then poof, it's over and forgotten. But on the right, that's where the magic happens. We see training as an investment. It's a continuous process designed to deliver a clear return on investment, better skills, higher efficiency, and real lasting change.
So once you're in that investment mindset, you hit your first big fork in the road. Where is this training content actually going to come from? Do you create it all from scratch, or do you go out and find an expert? It's that classic build versus buy dilemma.
And this breaks it down really nicely. You can buy from a third party, which is perfect for standardized skills. Think something like Six Sigma, where that official stamp of approval is everything. You can build it yourself, which is great for your company's own unique tools and processes, because you get 100% customization. Or you can have a specific trainer create it, which is super flexible, but also means you're depending on just one person.
Okay, but let's focus on that buy option for a second. There are plenty of good reasons to go that route. It can be cheaper, faster, the quality is often higher. But there is one reason that trumps all the others. Any guesses what it is?
Yep, it all comes down to that one powerful word, certification. And for both the company and the employee, this is an absolute game changer.
Think about it like this. An in-house certificate is nice, sure, but a third-party certification, that's like getting certified by a medical board. It's an outside, objective stamp that says, yes, you know your stuff. For the employee, it's a real asset they can carry with them for their entire career. And for the company, that makes it an incredibly powerful tool for keeping your best people around.
All right, so we know what we're going to teach. Now let's talk about how we're going to teach it. It's time to open up the Instructional Designer's Toolkit, because trust me, using the right tool for the job is what makes the learning actually stick.
Oh, we've all been there. You know that feeling. The lights dim, the presenter turns their back to you and just starts reading every single word off of a slide. It's a universal pain, and it has a name.
Here's the science of a good slide. It's a visual aid, not your teleprompter. When you put a wall of text up there, your audience has to choose. Do they read your slide, or do they listen to you? They can't do both at once. A great slide uses a powerful image or just a few keywords. It engages their eyes while your voice engages their ears. The two work together, they don't fight each other for attention.
And what about video? The exact same idea applies. The sweet spot for a training video is right around 3 minutes. This is called microlearning, and it's so powerful because it delivers these focused, bite-sized chunks of information. They're easy to digest, easy to remember, and easy to use right away, instead of some 30-minute epic that everyone forgets by lunchtime.
But you know, maybe the most powerful tool in the entire kit is getting people to move from just passively listening to actively doing. You don't just tell a group of project managers about a work breakdown structure, you have them actually design one. You don't just hand nurses a safety checklist, you have them work together to create one. That hands-on experience, that's where the real learning is forged.
So this all sounds great in theory, but how do we know if it's actually working? If training is really an investment, we need a way to audit that investment. We need to know if our well-designed, hands-on program is actually paying off.
We can break this down into 3 simple levels. Level 1 is just feedback, the smile sheet. Did people like it? Level 2 goes deeper, comprehension. Did they actually learn the material? But the gold standard, the one that really truly matters, is level 3, behavior. Are they actually using these new skills back on the job?
Now, here's a pro tip for really nailing that measurement: the pre-training assessment. To know if someone has actually learned something, you can't just look at their final test score. You have to know where they started. The real measure of success is the change, that gap between where they began and where they ended up. That's the true return on your investment.
And really, this all boils down to one critical concept: learning transfer. The ultimate goal isn't getting 100% on a quiz, it's seeing a real change in how people do their jobs. And you can't measure that with a survey. You can only measure it through things like direct observation and by getting feedback from managers who see that change happen in real time.
Okay, so we've designed the training, we've delivered it, we've measured its impact, but we're not done. The process doesn't end there. Now we take all that juicy data and use it to power the final piece of the puzzle, creating a learning flywheel. You see, great training isn't a straight line with a start and a finish. It's a continuous loop. You deliver the program, you evaluate it from every angle, you use that feedback to identify improvements, you implement those changes, and then you deliver the new, better version. And then, the cycle starts all over again, getting smarter and more effective each and every time.
At the end of the day, getting better doesn't happen by accident. It's the result of a deliberate process. This cycle of feedback and refinement, it isn't just a nice to have. It's the engine that makes sure our training investment keeps paying off year after year.
So that leaves us with one final question to think about. When you look at your own organization, is training treated like a one-time event, something to just check off a list? Or is it treated like a dynamic, living cycle of continuous improvement? Because the answer to that question makes all the difference in the world.